Hello, everyone. Welcome back to S.O.L.I podcast. My name is Angila. Most of you know me as Shayla. Today we have an amazing guest here, Angela. She's my friend. I'm so happy to have her here. Angela is a first Cape Verdean generation own a business of entrepreneur. She would tell us a little bit about herself and how it is to be a Cape Verdean and also to own a business. So, Angela, welcome to S.O.L.I podcast. Tell us a little bit about you and also how's it been to be a business owner and an entrepreneur.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Um, Being Cape Verdean is amazing. I feel like there's a lot of growing up with like a big Cape Verdean family. I feel like it teaches you to be able to talk to everybody. Because you know when you walk into a Cape Verdean gathering and you have to say hi to everybody and there's no being shy, which
Yes.
is a skill that actually has helped me a lot. And as far as being an entrepreneur, it's one of those things that you're constantly learning and you're constantly growing on how to be better and how to continuously grow your business. Definitely has its challenges, but it's worth it.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about what inspired you to own your business and tell us the name of your business and then what motivates you to keep going with your business.
So my business name is Lux by Ange. Is an aesthetics business. I specialize in full body waxing, facials, brow services. What inspired me was the fact that I was a corporate manager for 6.5 years. And it's amazing. Like I was able to grow so much as a person, as an individual, and especially as somebody that was doing that with no degree, making over six figures. I realized that I could have my own business the same way I was able to manage somebody else's business. I wanted to one day manage my own. At the time, I just didn't know what
To go.
like what I was so passionate about that I could open a business
Yeah.
based on that. So for a couple of years, I kind of struggled to figure that out. But once I did, that's what kept me going.
I can say I'm very proud of you and so happy and excited because we worked together and all she wanted to talk about it was being a manager. Knowing her, she was only, I think, early 20s, very young.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm going to be the manager in here. I'm not. No. And she wants to be a manager. She wants to run the office. And that's what I feel like we have in as a woman, as a Cape Verdean. How did it feel to be Cape Verdean in America and also to be a business owner as a woman? Do you face challenges or how is it to start with? Like, you tell us some facts.
Well, being a small business owner has so many challenges of its own, just because, especially in the beauty industry, it's
a
one
lot.
of those things. Everybody's a lash tech, everybody's a nail tech, everybody does waxing.
I know.
It's so competitive, and the reality is there's room for everybody. And I think that that's where sometimes, like, I love when I meet other women that are like, how they say, girls, that like understand the concept that there is room for everybody. There is
Yeah.
a client for everybody.
Yes.
Because someone that could come to me may not have had a good experience with you. Someone that could go to you didn't have a great experience with me.
Yeah.
It could be a personality. It could be anything. And even to the point that one of my close friends, we do the exact same business. And there's no competition. There's no
Yeah.
weird energy. But that's one thing that is hard when you come into the beauty industry is it is very competitive. There's a lot of cattiness sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially with school. Like I went to school to get my license, pass my state boards. I did everything the legit way. So from the beginning, once I decided this is what I wanted to do, I had a blueprint. I understood, okay, what is the steps to get there? Once I get there, what are the next? Like I'm one of those people, like I overthink naturally and I overplan naturally. So that was something that I did from the beginning, was planning it, mapping it out. And with that industry, beauty industry, it's very competitive.
Yeah.
It can be a little rough sometimes, but I think once you find the right people to network and work with, it gets a little easier.
What do you think keep you going or motivates you to keep be as a business owner and also to help community? Do you think the community has welcomed you with a like very happy way, or how do you think? How do you tell us how was that?
I think building the business is hard. And for people that I know, I've spoken to that have been doing it for 6-7 years and are super successful and do that full time now, it takes time to work it up to the point that you're doing it full time.
Yeah.
So the people that I know, they say it takes at least 3 to 5 years to even get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But in that 3 to 5 years, there's so many times that you're like, oh man, I want to quit. Like, this is like, because I think about it sometimes and I'm like, okay, I didn't finish college. I became a corporate manager. I climbed the ladder, made stupid money with no degree at a young. And actually, when we worked together, I think I was 18 to 19
Yeah.
because I got promoted to corporate manager right before my 21st birthday. So imagine having.
Yeah, I think you started when you were 19. Yeah.
So imagine having a 21-year-old Trivita like me as your manager.
I know. That's why I couldn't stand when you said, I'm gonna be your manager. I said, no, you're not. We could not, we're not gonna do it.
In the beginning, it was a little rough. But once we got there,
Imagine two Cape Verdean.
Too strong Cape Verdean women bumping heads. Yeah. But once we got there, we were sharing lunches. It was
all the time. What do you bring me? Solange, where is your food? Bring me the food. So that was great.
You know, I still make that tuna salad with the mayo that you
that's so good.
I still eat that.
No, that's good.
But yeah, no, as coming into the community, like you meet the right people. You meet the people that like you meet and you're like, okay, like I just didn't vibe with that person or like the way they are. But then you meet the people that you just become like a community with, you know? And especially within the Cape Verdean community, like it's so quick and easy how the word gets around, how people come to you and that was
another question that I was going to ask you. Do you feel like a lot of Cape Verdean community comes to you to get a service?
I feel like I have a mix of everything. Like I have Caucasians, I have different kind of Asians, I have Black Americans, I have Cape Verdeans. I would say that's one thing I'm pretty lucky with is I have like a mix of everything. But I definitely have my Cape Verdean people that come in, and when people come in, based on who's coming in is the music that I'll play. And when my Cape Verdean people come in, I have Georgie on blast. Like I can't wait. I can't wait to put the music on to make
you feel. Thank you for sharing that. I know you always want to be a manager and you want to own your business, but after you work in the corporate office, what you were like, oh my God, I just need to be my own boss. I need to do this. What was your first idea to share with the young people or any other people that are working in a corporate office or working in any 9 to 5? If they have an idea, what should their first step should be?
The first step should be understand your idea and learn the ins and outs of what is it going to take to run this business. I really do think it's important that you know how to manage yourself and you know how to manage finances. And I feel like once you can do those two and you can have like the, how do they say, the willpower to keep going and not give up, because there's going to be times you're going to want to give up because you put more money into it than you get back in the beginning.
Yeah, that's 100%.
For sure. But understanding the industry and understanding where you could possibly fail, how much money you need to start it up, what kind of marketing you have to invest into, and also if it's like a product online, where can you ship it in from? And once you have all that figured out, you just have to rip off the Band-Aid and just go, because you're always going to be scared. You're always going to be nervous.
That's me right there.
You're always going to be like, oh my God, what if I go and like I fail? What if like, there's so many what ifs, but the reality is if you want to do it, you just have to rip off the Band-Aid, and you can make a lot of money as a 9 to 5, but something about just working for yourself just
is next level.
It just feels different.
Yeah.
It feels scary, but other times it feels great.
Yeah. No, that is good to know. And I feel like a lot of times I want to do something like that. And that's why I've been wanting to do this for this past 3 years or 4 years, but I'm always like, Nah, it's so many out there. But because I haven't seen such a thing like this in the Cape Verdean community or here in like where I live, that's why it motivated me to do more, because there's so many people out there, but they don't, like, you have to feel, it has to be in you to try to do that. And it is a challenge at the beginning, but like you said, you just have to rip the Band-Aid. So Angela, tell us a little bit of how is your typical day at your spot is. Tell us about your day. How did it go? How does it go?
So one thing about me, I know you remember, I'm always doing a lot of things. I'm never just doing one thing. I'm all over the place, and I'm all about, I don't want to say I'm all about money, but I'm all about like, what am I doing? Is it productive? Is it working? Like, if I'm not, example, going to like a mat Pilates, like the hot yoga Pilates classes. If I'm not working out, if I'm not doing that, if I'm not taking a client, I have to stay within the dental field, because that's where I was a corporate manager for. I have like remote contracts that I do billing for doctors.
Well, that's great.
So I do that too. So like when I wake up in the morning, I start off my day, checking my emails. I usually will look at my calendar depending on what time I have clients. I work in my contract work on the side. I have clients. I'm working out, and even like some of my friends that own like bars, like, hey, can you come bartend for me on Saturday? Cash. And I'm like,
coming.
hell yeah. Cancel my plans. You know? So
yeah.
I've always been that way. So my day's all over the place half the time. But I will say that's another thing actually, for people that want to have your own business, your calendar, the way that you manage yourself is everything. Like
I bet.
I've run off like 4 different calendars.
So to keep up with all that stuff because you don't want to miss anything. Thank you for sharing that. So if any, as you mentioned, there's so much competitive people and different business. I mean, the same business but different clients. How do you maintain your client base? Do you alphabetize? Do you like post it? Do you do do you talk to people like word of mouth? Or how do you do to keep your client coming so you don't lose them?
So as far as like gaining clients, it does come from marketing, like social media, paid marketing on Google, stuff like that. You have to be constantly marketing. Word of mouth is probably not the least way that you would get clients. But that's a way that you get clients. And when you get clients from word of mouth, like that's like the best gift the client
it's always happened like that, even for at the recruiter when we were like those people actually stick around more.
Yep. And honestly, how people keep coming back is you build that bond and you build that relationship with them. Each visit, like I'm a people, like I talk a lot. So I'm talking, we make a friendship, and now like we're pretty much locked in, you know, especially like for waxing, you're back every 3 to 4 weeks
to come
you
in.
have great results. I'm good at what I do. We get along very well. Now we're locked in forever.
That's amazing.
But also too, I have clients that sometimes tell me that they like watched my social media for like 8 months before they booked an appointment.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like
a stalker.
I'm like, okay, but at least you stalked and you still came.
That's
like, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Definitely.
So that's why it's so important to be constantly posting on social media.
Yeah,
too,
I feel like
you don't feel like it.
That is that's the big thing, and a lot of times people get the managers, or when you at that level, to have people to manage that because it takes a lot of time and also is a time consuming. But that is how it's going. We have to do to bring the clients and in the business like that. That is such a competitive business. So, what challenge that you feel like you face having 2 different jobs or multiple jobs and try to keep going on the daily basis? What challenge do you face?
Knowing when to stop. I never
What
know
stops?
when to stop. Like when to just stop and just stay home and get in bed and watch a movie, put a Lifetime on and just hang out. So I feel like sometimes it sounds bad. Sometimes my body stops me. Like for example, like last night I had so much to do and I had work, I had clients, I was supposed to go to the gym, and my body I started feeling like a headache. I started feeling down. I realized I wasn't drinking enough water. So even like something that I constantly work on is just when to stop filling my schedule. Yesterday was a perfect failure at it, but
I feel like it's just like we are in this mode that we keep going, but there is a day that you be like, oh my God, if I don't do something, like me being a mom, I'm a student and also a full-time job. Now I'm doing this. And like last 2 weeks, I was like, I'm not calling now, but look, I have a mental day. I'm not coming. It's not sick day, but it's just like, you know,
I'm sick up here. I need a break.
I said, I'm not going. And then the manager said, no problem, because you always hear anyways, and you have so much going on. But I feel like you said, listen to your body, know your body, but up here because you need to rest so you can recharge and keep going. So talking about this, and what is the biggest lesson that you learned as being your own boss? Like, what is the biggest lesson? Tell us.
Oh, the biggest lesson I would say is the key is to just keep going. Like I have a ring that I bought myself. You know, like
you're still doing all those cute calendar or the books, the journal that you keep. Those are so
I still
cute.
have my journals. And one point I was going through like a really hard point in life, and I ended up buying myself like this Cartier ring, like impulsive buy, but it's engraved with resilience, and that just basically means like no matter how many times you get knocked down, no matter how many times you feel discouraged, just getting back up. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned as a business owner is do not compare yourself to other people. When you get back down, pick yourself back up, because no one's coming to save you.
Yeah.
You took
Yeah.
this risk.
I think you used to say that when we were recruiters, like, you have to do your own. Nobody's coming. Like, you have to be the one to advocate for yourself, or you have to say it so it can happen. No, that is a good
No
thing.
one's
But
coming to save you.
no one is coming to
You
save you.
you went off the limb. You started this business. No
Yeah.
one's giving you that money back. No one's
No.
coming to save you.
True.
Get up.
Yeah.
And and I think that's something that I've learned is just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give up. Find new things to learn. Find new ways to market. And you have to keep pushing yourself,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
you can have like the best support system, which I do have. My fiance is the best.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I started this business. I have to keep going,
pushing, yeah.
no matter what. It's like a mental health. You have to keep pushing yourself. And I think that's why I push myself to try to work out as much as I can. And every day I go on walks during my lunch, like during
Lunch
I
break.
take like a lunch break, and I just go walking. I try to get like 10,000 steps in. I will say that helps me a lot in a sense of just taking a break, but just knowing that you
Yeah.
have to, you
Yeah.
are in charge.
Yeah, my watch would tell me it's time to get up. I said, not right now. But,
You're like, one more minute.
No more. And then sometimes I'd be just or talking, or just my heart is beating so fast. Then the watch saying I'm running. I said, I'm not running. I'm still sitting right here. This is not fun.
I didn't even move.
Oh no, because that's how that's how you're moving. But Angela, what does success mean to you? What is it?
Success for me, it means being able to do whatever I want.
Like, I can picture that,
And I'm not there yet, but I'm pretty close. And for me, it means being able to do whatever I want, and being able to live my life on my terms and on the way that I want to, that makes sense. Like, for example, and like I said, I worked 9 to 5. I still have remote contracts. I still have people. No matter what, you're always gonna have somebody you have to answer to or coordinate with. Whether it's like moving clients around.
Yeah.
Like, I just came back from a 2.5-week trip to Africa. Like, and I came back and I went to work the next day immediately from a 24-hour travel time.
Yeah.
So you're always gonna have things that you have to answer due to, but being able to have the flexibility of not having to wait for an approval for PTO time.
Yeah, that is.
Being able to move things around, take a trip. And I don't have kids yet, but when I do, I want to have the flexibility that I can go to
Be
my
with-
kids'
yeah.
game, pick them up from school.
Yeah.
And, and I think that's why right now I'm 27. I'm going to be 28. And I've just kind of held back from like having kids. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm still running
pressure.
from teenage pregnancy.
No, just
I'm still running from teenage pregnancy. Like, I'm so scared.
You have your sisters. So like, no.
I'm almost 30. I'm running away from teenage
No,
pregnancy.
no pressure.
But that's something that always thought of as success, is being able to, do what my mom, my mom was always working a lot when I was young, and
Yeah, and
being able to just be, a present mom, being flexible, living my life on my terms in a way that makes sense.
that's what I couldn't agree more with you on that. I really that's true. A lot of us has the mom, or we had the mom that like spend a lot of time working, and we barely see them, for them to support us the way that they should, because they have to go work for somebody from 8 to 5 or like 9 to 5, and then they only have a small window to spend time with you, but then they still have, society still want you to have the great kids and the other one to be successful, but that person didn't spend time with you. So that's more topic that I will maybe invite you again here to talk about, having a single parent, or like a Cape Verdean here that struggle a lot, but definitely for another topic. So Angela, I know in you always like quotes, you like cool phrases. Do you still like keep a nice quote to motivate you on the daily basis? Tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah. So usually I refer to quotes and different things like that when I'm like going through like a tough time. And my favorite quote is, "This too shall pass." And I don't want to make it seem like you're always going through something, but that kind of is life. And I tell people that because knowing how to resolve conflict, knowing how to deal with challenges that come your way and how you react to them is a big part of how your life is going to go. Now, whether something can happen or challenges can face, and whether you deal with them well or poorly is going to shift the direction of your life. So that's why whenever good things are happening, I smile and I laugh. And I tell people, when you're happy, things are going good, be extra happy, smile extra wide, because that's just life, though. The next thing is going to come. The next thing is going to happen. And you have to know how to deal with conflict in business, in personal life. And essentially just be like mentally strong. So that's my favorite quote. Is, "This too shall pass." And I feel like that's mainly when people look for deep quotes. Is you break up with somebody, now you're looking for deep sentimental quotes. Like you're going through a challenge.
That is so funny. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I still do the same thing. Like I keep buying journal for no reason. I don't write them, but I like to. Me is just the motivation and also consistency. Whatever I didn't grow up with, or I didn't get a chance to do it as a young person. Now that's when I want to do it differently. I'm still working, of course, work for the community. I work for somebody, but I like what I do. I enjoy what I do. They said if you like what you do and you love what you do, it feels natural. You don't feel like you're there. Oh my God, I have to come in and like dragging that feeling. But like you said, sometimes when we started, we didn't know what to do. Like me, if I knew I would go to college or sooner, but I didn't know. I started as a cook, then end up in recruiter because I didn't know what to do. And then that's okay. And a lot of times young people now, they want to be 20 something and they want to have all figured out. You have two younger sisters. What would you tell them about don't just pick one thing and then just say, I'm done. What would you, well, let me see. What advice would you tell them or steps?
Yeah, I definitely agree because I feel like there's certain jobs that you have to have a degree for, like nursing,
Exactly.
certain things that you have no choice but to have a degree with. And I think where I got lucky is once I left recruiting, I went into office administration, became a manager, which ultimately was what I'm really good at, is managing. I can manage anything as long as I understand how it works. And one thing about me, I have to know how to do it. I'm very trivida. I have to know how to put everything in there. And then I'll be like the greatest manager ever I have. And I got lucky that I landed in something that I actually like, where even like my remote, like my billing contracts and stuff like that. It's true. I like it so much. It's so natural that it's not a bother for me.
Exactly.
It's not like, oh my God, ew. It's like, I enjoy it. I'm like, okay, this is so easy. Blah, 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 blah. And it's just part of like my daily routine. It's not like a burden.
Yes.
So I would say just try. And my boyfriend's so funny because sorry, fiance, I keep calling him boyfriend.
He's like, do you forget now?
He's like, I'm not your boyfriend. I'm like, okay, sorry, sir. But he says the same thing. One thing I will say, I have no shame when it comes to job hopping.
Yeah.
If I try out something long enough and I feel like I don't like it, I don't like the way I'm being treated there, it doesn't work for me. Believe me, I will find something.
No, I know. I know that firsthand because
I tried to get a raise and they said no. And I said,
like, okay, bye, dude.
Somebody else got me. I gotta go. You know what? And it's so crazy because I've always been like that. But in the sense of, and there actually is a statistic saying that if you stay within a job for more than
3 years,
you actually lose income because every year that market is growing. If you stay in the same place, and not that you should be hopping over every year too, but there's always opportunities, and whether it's within the same industry or trying a different one. Like if you want to go from, marketing to managing, just figure out like whatever it is that you really like. And once you find what you like, stick with it, get better at it.
Yeah, I read somewhere it says whatever you do, be the best person, or be the best of it, and be whatever you can be to stand out for the rest of the people. I like my job. I can say I'm pretty good with what I do, and like you said, you have to advocate for yourself, and then that's what I feel like I do a lot. Sometimes I ask for increase too often, and then they just tend to like, come on, Solange, now. I'm like, well, I'm doing extra now. Can I get some more money? But I feel like young people should take a chance, opportunity to work in different area until they find what they like. Like I mentioned, I started for my first job. It was dishwasher. I worked 3 months. I said, oh, hell no, I'm not doing the dishes. I'm going to the kitchen where I can cook. And then they said, but you don't know. I said, I don't know what it says in English, but I know how to cut the tomato. So put me there. And then I work in the and then the chef said, no, you have to do both. And I did both until they find somebody, because that's how you need to balance it out. And I feel like it all coming in you to do those type of things. Do you think being Cape Verdean America, that like as a strong woman we are, do you think that helped you shape the way you are, like very strong, competitive, and strong leader? What do you think as being a Cape Verdean that helps you?
Oh, 1,000%. And I wouldn't even say necessarily being
Cape Verdean,
because I've met other Cape Verdeans that wasn't raised the way that I was.
Yeah.
People that were kind of like sheltered and were kind of like baby.
Yeah.
My mom did not play that.
No, I know that.
My mom did not, my mom, she never played that. And actually, funny thing, we were actually neighbors for a very long time.
Yes,
too. So she knows my
neighbors
mom.
and co-worker.
Yep.
Can you put that together?
Yep. Go way back. And my mom, she didn't play that, like not like no babying, like tough skin. And and I feel like that taught me, and seeing my mom come from Cape Verde, learning English, and the way that lady would speak English if someone disrespected her so quickly.
Next level.
I'm like, oh, you know how to say that. Okay. Yeah. So you do know how to speak a little bit of English.
Yeah.
So
trust me, when they are mad, whatever they learn is gonna come out. That is for a fact. I learned that. I mean, usually I don't curse, and then I barely curse. And then when I do curse, it's because I'm really upset. And then people that know me think it's so funny. They be like, say it again. I said, no, I'm not. It's not funny now. And telling me just say it again.
Over.
Oh, yeah. Say it again. I said, no. And then that works sometimes when I'm really upset and like curse sometimes. And they say, Solange, just say it again. I said, no, that is already past. Yeah, that's past. So Angela, what can you tell us about having a multiple jobs and juggling? Do you still find time to spend with your loved ones, like quality times?
Yeah, I think that's what makes it so hard. So my business is always my first priority. Then it's my remote contracts. And then I pick up on the weekends, whenever here and there. But that's another part that is hard, is making time for family. And I do always make time for family and friends. I think that's what makes it even harder. It's because now I'm also added in 5 other people into the equation of the mess I have going on. But I do also have been carving out blocks in my schedule, just so you can spend time. Just time for me to either be home or time for me to just go to a workout class and go out to breakfast by myself. You know?
Yeah. What is your hope for Lux by in the next 5 years? What does the future look like?
Well, actually, in a couple of months, I'm going to be expanding my business.
Congratulations. That's exciting.
Coming up on 2 years with Lux. So that was always within my business plan, was within 2 years of being open to expand. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep going. But so I'm going to be expanding soon. So if you guys want to follow,
yes, definitely.
On Instagram, Facebook. I'm going to be expanding my space, adding more people into my salon, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, that is amazing. Definitely, we will share all the link in the website. People can go there. And this, do you have a way people can support your business, donate, anything like that on your website?
No, actually I don't.
That is something that we should do. A small QR code, and people will scan it and donate that. So stay tuned for that one to come. Definitely we will share that. So tell us about growing up in America, of course, with the parents, Cape Verdean parents. How is it, the culture, and also what is the best part of being Cape Verdean in America? Food.
The food is amazing. My mom, the other day, so it was my brother's birthday earlier this week. We went to go cut his cake and stuff. And before we leave, my mom had 4 little, you know what's so crazy? I don't know how to say titapu in English. Even to the point that my fiance says titapu.
What is that?
He'll be like, oh, can you grab a titapu? And it's so funny because he's not Cape Verdean, he's not Hispanic.
Because you give it to them. Yeah. Oh my God, that's funny.
The plastic containers. She'll pack up cachupa.
Yeah, and then put tigela tampo. Okay.
So that's my best, my favorite thing is the food, the culture, the music. I love everything about being Cape Verdean. Even to the point that sometimes I have to go to Brockton or spend time go to certain restaurants, certain places, because I just want more of Cape Verdean culture, and I feel I'm not around it as much as I used to growing up.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that I love: the food, the culture, the people, and even down to the way that my mom raised me. My mom raised me as if we were in Cape Verde.
Yeah.
And I feel when I raise my kids, they're being raised that generation too, because there were so many skills that as a kid I used to be like, oh my God, I hate my mom. I hate her.
Yeah.
She's making me clean.
Yeah.
She's making me cook. I'm only 11 years old. Why I have to cook? Why I have to clean? And I'm so grateful
that you did that.
Yeah, because now as an adult, I know people my age that don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They don't have certain discipline, certain mental way of thinking. And I think my mom did kind of like raise me into be like a strong individual.
Yeah.
And I feel like if she wasn't as hard on me, or if she didn't teach me to, you know, fix my face and stop crying, control my emotions, I don't think that I would be
Yeah.
who I am
Who you
now
are right
without
now.
those.
Yeah, I feel like our mother help us shape us the way that we are, but we also learn from what they teach us. Sometimes not to be the same as them, because that's what they call the lesson you learn, but you don't have to put it in practice the same. But definitely we're going to learn. We can tweak our way, but definitely it shape us the way we are. I'm really proud of you that you were born here and you speak Creole and you understand. And I'm struggling with my kids because I came in just like your mom, and I speak with them in Creole, but they answer just in English. You have siblings too. What is it like to growing up to keep the Creole in the house? Was it your mom talk to you all in Creole, or how do you go by that?
That's actually something I've thought about a lot, because now that I'm getting a little older, I'm thinking about kids and stuff. And I'm like, wait, how is my kid going to learn Creole if my partner obviously doesn't speak Creole?
You make it hard.
And like my niece, for example, she understands Creole very well
She answered back in English.
in English. And honestly, I was guilty of the same thing when I was a kid, but I did mine on purpose. So my mom would teach me Creole, right? And I would say something wrong. And she would say something like to like, you know, she'd be like, oh, stupida, you're saying it wrong. Like, and so it's joking, but like that would hurt my feelings so bad.
So you do understand when it comes to
I was like, you know what? I don't want to talk to you no more.
Oh my God.
So I wouldn't. But then my dad would call me because my
Yeah.
parents were like separated when I was young. So my dad would call me, talk to me in Creole, and I'd reply in Creole. And she'd be like,
It only applies when you feel like
literally. She goes, você vai ver como pai? Você vai ver comigo? And I was like, what did you say?
back in English. Oh my God.
And then you already knew how the rest of that went.
Yeah.
So that's something I think about. I'm like, I definitely am going to speak to my kid in Creole. Definitely have them around my mom a lot, since that's my mom's like first go-to language.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a thing where we're just going to have to, I'm going to
Roll with it.
grow. You're going to have to talk.
Yeah.
We're going to have to figure it out.
I feel guilty, and that sometimes I feel like judged, or like, I mean, I haven't bring my kids to Cape Verdean yet, but I'm pretty sure I will be judged that how come you don't talk to them? I do talk to them and they answer back. Doesn't mean they understand. It's in their head. They understand. They answer back. And then I for a fact, I know it's not just me. So many of Cape Verdean parents have kids because they go to school and they come back. And then it's funny that some words they don't know in English, but they know in Creole. I'm like, great, say that. But then sometimes I like the way when they go spend time with my mom. And then they think my mom is the only person who speaks Creole. I'm like, what are you doing? And then my mom will be like, well, you're the one needed. So if you need something, you need to stay in Creole because my mom doesn't understand English. So it is, I feel like it is funny, but at the same time challenging because I want to keep them to know so they can know more than one language because I'm lucky enough to speak 4 languages. So do you, like you speak some language. It will help us not the communicate, understanding, and it will be so helpful to know more than that. What other language do you speak? Spanish?
Yeah, I speak Spanish. Okay, so English, Spanish, Portuguese, Creole. And then for Portuguese, I can swing like the Brazilian accent or like the regular accent.
Yeah.
But it is a common problem because even like my, like a finance manager that helped me with my car like a couple months ago, she's Cape Verdean, speaks everything, goes to Cape Verde all the time. And she was saying the same thing that her daughter's 12 years old, same thing. Her daughter understands her, hears everything, but responds in English. So even when they went to Cape Verde, she'll do the same thing in Cape Verde and she'll reply in English. And she understands everything. See.
Yeah, that's it. Oh my.
See, no.
I feel like some other island or like I love it. Like I hear the other kids speak fluent Creole. It just makes me feel so happy. My niece actually, she will reply to you all in Creole. But she would reply back to me in English, but when she wanted, she just reply back in Creole. And then my kids, what I told them, if they speak Creole, I would give them the money. And then they just say one thing, and then they want money. I said, no, that doesn't work like that. I'm saying the full sentence, tell me, and then I will give you the money. But they're trying to work out with me. That doesn't work. But for you to say when it comes to food-wise, what would be your favorite food? Like, what do you like the most? I know you like a lot, but what would be the one that you like the most?
I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite things, how do you say muela?
You like that? Oh, I remember made that for you, and you like it. Oh, I see.
Or polvo, octopus.
Oh, that's amazing. I like
good
that one
grilled
too.
Octopus with garlic, olive oil,
Yeah.
I love all seafood.
I went to Portugal recently. I think that was the best thing I ever tried in my life. That was so great. So yeah, we have to get it together. Get some cooking. Also, I want to ask you, as a growing up here, did you ever face any challenge? I mean, of course, you don't have an accent, but do you feel like sometimes you feel different growing up in school because the parents Cape Verdean, or like some words might come up a little bit like with accent? I faced that when I came in as 18 years old. I feel like people were making fun of me. But you were born here. Do you face any of that challenge at all?
I would say no, because I don't have
Yeah,
an accent,
yeah.
so it's not something that I come across as much. But I feel like just growing up in certain areas, like growing up in Pawtucket, like there's many other challenges that I faced. But
Yeah, besides that would be the least of the
that was
problem.
the least of my worries.
Yeah,
Actually, I
yeah.
did have challenges with my name. So my name is spelled Angila. So
And then you were growing up in the wrong spot. That Angela is the other way.
yes, growing up where everyone like Angelica, Angila, and then it became a thing of, oh, your mom doesn't even know how to spell in English. So I remember I started spelling my name with an E when I was a kid, just because I was tired of hearing people, making jokes about my mom
Yeah.
not knowing how to spell.
Yeah,
So
no,
if you hear this, mom, it's okay. They're the problem.
talking
They're
about
uncultured.
talking about name is a long story. Mine is similar to yours, so Angela, and I didn't even know how. I asked my mom. The Shayla came from is a long story. I will share with you guys some another time. But I really here work because. English, they are used to their own name, and then when they kind of hear this type of name, is they struggle a little bit, and sometimes they be like, "Oh, can I call you something else?" I'm like, "No, this is my name," and definitely, I just met you. You're not calling me, and then most of the people don't know my nickname, so I don't. I work. Everybody know me by Sol Angela, and then one time I was working, my sister called and asked for Shayla, and then they were like, "No, nobody here." Beep, they hang up, and then she called back, said, "Never mind, I'm in Sol Angela," and then they said, "Oh, let me pass you." But I feel like a lot of the time, people be like, "What do you call Saul and then Angela? What is your name exactly? Can I call you something else?" And then that is something that I will always say, "No, that's my name and that's what you're gonna call me. It's different, but this is what it is." And then I feel like I face that sometimes, but now I just pass out this other stuff to worry about. So what would you share something interest about us that not about you that not a lot of people know? So what would you be? That's some other like the listener can know, or anything that other people don't know about Angela.
The problem with me is I'm a pretty open book. So I wouldn't say there's too much that's, really super secretive about me. No. I think I'm pretty, like, I feel like I'm like pretty like standard. Like I work out.
Regular.
I work like everybody else.
Would it be a fun fact or interest fact besides speaking for language 5 or whatever? Would it be like a fun fact about Angela?
Fun fact. It's probably not.
You make people laugh. So it can be fun or interest fact about somebody. That's like ice breaking sometimes. You're like, what? I don't know.
My icebreaker is too big of an icebreaker that if I share it,
You'll be bad.
I would be in a lot of
No trouble.
Usually, if I'm like out with like random people, I don't mind saying it if I
But
feel
here-
comfortable. But here, I'm like,
No way. No, thank you so
I don't
much.
think my dad knows I have tattoos
No.
like that.
Oh, child, you're in trouble. So, Angela, thank you so much for coming, and tell us about your website again, and then tell the listeners so they can follow you and then go look for the service. She's an amazing a person. I'm pretty sure you'll be really happy. Come and visit her. So, tell us about your website and where they can find you.
Yeah. So you can go onto Instagram, Facebook, either one that you have or feel comfortable with. Lux, LUXE, by, and then ANG, Ange. So it's actually something we were talking about, the name thing. I got so tired of like fighting over my name that I just tell people to call me Ange, and that kind of just like grew on me.
Stuck with that.
But the one thing I don't like is Angie. For some reason, that one just never stuck to me.
Yeah.
But you can find me on Instagram, on Facebook, and then right in the bio there'll be like a link tree that will have access to all my booking websites, Google reviews, And then maybe I should set up a link where people can donate if they want to support.
Yeah, because I did see something similar that had a QR code and then people scan it and do it. But maybe you'll be there. Thank you so much for listening. I will be sharing as well the website and with you guys. Thank you again. Stay tuned. Welcome. I mean, thank you so much, Angela. And I'm so happy to have you on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.